damn camera is so blurry. Maybe it's the model that I have. I really don't know. But I know it's been a minute since I've done these lives. So for those that have come on my lives in the past, apologies. Life has been lifing. So we are making shrimp pasta today. It's a very easy and basic recipe to make. I went to Whole Foods and just bought some shrimp, some cherry tomatoes. Actually, I'll probably leave the cherry tomatoes here. We have capers. We have panko crumbs that I'm gonna use as like a topping, and then some Parmesan cheese, some herb butter, some broth concentrate, the whole nine. But I know it's been a minute. I don't know if you guys know that meme. It goes, how does it go? It's like, oh, hi, hello, like pretty much when somebody has been gone for a while. So apologies, just a lot of life things going on for me, and just been busy, you know. Excuse me, been very busy. Let me move you guys over here. I'm gonna cut up some tomatoes while the shrimp cooks. Um, just want to make sure that this doesn't overcook. But anyway, for those that have never been on my live or don't know who I am, probably many of you don't know who I am. My name is Chiamaka, and I have this page of Pockets of Protein. It's really meant to be a page where I show meals that are relatively high protein, but I mean, I show all things. It's not just limited to high protein. I mean, it's my diet generally is very balanced, so I show a little bit of everything. But there does tend to be a focus or preference on high protein meals, so that's what my page is about. And yeah, I think it's been what? We're in April. It's been, God, I don't even, I know it's been months. So forgive me if I'm a little rusty at this live thing because, again, it has been a while. But as for me, part of why it has been a while is that life has been going on for me. I recently got engaged, so I'm very excited and very much in that bubble right now of just enjoying this season of my life. My fiance and I, we've been together. November will make 6 years, and we've lived together for almost 5 years. So we started living together after a year of dating. We met during COVID, and it's been good. I've just been trying to be present in that. Last year, we went to New York and we did the Times Square New Year's Eve ball drop experience. So that was nice. And so obviously planning that and making sure that our ducks were in a row regarding that took up quite a bit of time. And I highly recommend. It's definitely once in a lifetime experience. There's a lot going on, a lot of people everywhere. But it's worth it. I think all of the effort trying to make sure that we got a good spot to see uh, the fireworks for New Year's Eve was worth it. So we have that. My birthday was towards the end of the year. So I just feel like I've had a lot of life things going on that yeah, YouTube Lives just unfortunately went to the wayside. I'm not gonna lie to you. It just YouTube in general. I mean, for those, many of you probably already know this, like, creating content on YouTube, it takes a lot of work. It's more work than any short form platform like Instagram, TikTok, etc. I do think it's more rewarding than the short form platforms. It just requires a lot of time. So obviously, if you have a lot of different things going on, on the home front or 9 to 5 or whatever, Like YouTube, unfortunately, tends to be one of the things that gets impacted by that. So, but I'm trying to do better, and that's what matters. And that's why I hopped on live because I realized it's been, I don't know, but way too long. So that's what's been going on with me. Otherwise, I'm still cooking as usual, having fun as usual. Just the world is crazy, lots going on. So I'm just trying to lean into joy as much as possible. And I highly recommend you all do the same because it's crazy out here. And I'll just leave it at that. It is crazy. But anyway, as I said, I'm here making, ooh, not me leaving the show on. I'm making shrimp pasta. It doesn't take rocket science in making this. I have cooked shrimp. I've added the tomatoes that I've diced down or chopped in half. And I might add, because the tomatoes have a little bit of water, so sometimes I feel like that dilutes the salt, and so it can end up tasting a little bland. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt and let that cook down, and then we'll add the next ingredients. Let me see. What are you cooking? Shrimp pasta. Wow, you are so pretty. Oh my God, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you to say. Thank you. So here I'll show the other ingredients. So we have herb butter. I really don't know why this camera is so, it's like not focusing. I have the iPhone 14 Pro, and I noticed recently that when I flip the camera to do like a selfie or whatever, or even FaceTime, it's just always so blurry. And I don't know if that's just because my phone is old. Even the camera lens, I don't get the point 0.5 feature anymore. So it's, I don't know what's up with that. Here's the panko that I'm gonna end up browning this at the very end just to make it a little crispy. And then we have Parmesan cheese. We have capers, which I'm actually going to end up kind of cooking with the panko at the end. We have a lemon. I'm just gonna juice half of this and put that in the mix. And then we have broth concentrate. And we have cooked penne back in behind me. So, and then that'll be it. Quick, easy, simple, straightforward. I might actually need to put this in a bigger pot because I feel like I feel like this isn't going to fit all of the food I'm cooking. And to be honest, I'm trying to have this be more of a one pan situation. So let's just transfer everything to this one. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think you guys can see it. Let me, hold on. Let's get my tall tripod and put you guys here so you can at least see what I'm doing and not just looking at my face. Oh, so you guys can see what's going on in the pot. Okay, just make sure you guys got a good view. And I think I can zoom in on this. Yes, we can. Perfect. Okay. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll juice the lemon. I'll do that off camera and just add that in. Simple dinners like this is what I live for, especially on busy days. I do not have time to be a fake Gordon Ramsay trying to do the most. It's either this or Uber Eats. So I just tend to lean in the direction of these sort of quick meals. um, just so that it's easier for me to make sure that I'm at least having something that I know I made, I know what's in it, and can attest to, let's say, the home cooked meal versus obviously ordering out. Um, okay, and then we'll add the broth concentrate. This just gives the more like a somewhat savory taste. I would say the equivalent, at least in my opinion, for this is chicken bouillon, the powder. Just gives your food like a little bit more of a savory sort of taste. I like it, so I usually add it to most dishes. Okay, and then we have the herb butter that we'll add in. Okay, and then this is a little bit watery, so usually for something like this, sometimes I'll even add in, I had like a little sachet of, oh, I had a little sachet of flour, and I don't know where it went. Give me 1 second, let me see. So what I'm looking for is either I usually have like flour or cornstarch just to help soak up a little bit of the liquid so it's not so watery. So whichever one I find first is the one I'm going to use. I think I have, let's see. Okay, so I have a little bit of flour here that I'm not even going to measure it. Well, technically I am because I'm using this measuring spoon. So 1 teaspoon, right? Yep. And just add that in. And like I said, that's just to help with the moisture, kind of help soak up some of that liquid on the bottom so it's not so liquidy. I mean, if you like it that way, then by all means, but I want it more of a, somewhat more of like a sauce than just liquid. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more. But yeah, flour or even cornstarch will do the trick. And you can see, yeah, so it's kind of thickening up that liquid, which is exactly what I wanted. So now, the last thing, at least for now, because we still need to brown the panko, is to add in the pasta. I have penne. You can use obviously spaghetti. Honestly, honestly, like any pasta. Like there's no there's no um, rule for this. This is not a specific recipe. So it's part recipe, part vibes. Like so, honestly, do and use what you want. This happens to be um, one of the last package of pastas that I have in my cupboard, so just wanted to use it for this quick dinner. All right, and just kind of let that sit for a second. Let me clear out some of this stuff, and then we will move to the next step, which is to brown the panko. I think some people with panko, they'll just top their pasta dishes with it, like they don't brown it. Um, I like the taste of it brown personally, but again, do what you want. Okay, let's move these up here and get another pan. Okay. So because this penne was cooked already, doesn't really need much. This is done. So now let's brown the panko. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil. Okay. Just going to use the same the heat from the same stove slot, and then I'll add in the panko. And then let me get a spoon. This tends to brown really fast. I'm gonna just add in the capers also with it, and just continue to stir until I feel that it's done. The panko specifically. Let me raise the heat a little bit. So this is what I'm going to top my pasta with. There we go, so you guys can see. It's important, at least when I do this, I try to put enough oil on the pan, because in the past, when I didn't put enough, the minute that I the minute that I applied the panko, it all just stuck to the pan, and it just ended up becoming stupid. I had to trash the whole thing. So if you do want to try this, just make sure you oil your pan well, unless you have like a stainless, not stainless steel, non-stick pan. I personally have stopped using those. I use stainless steel now. So it requires the pan to be hot enough, oiled enough, etc., etc. Um, Otherwise, like the food that you apply on it will just stick, and it won't look right. So, but yeah, so pretty much just continue stirring that around. I try to make sure I pay attention to this because the panko does brown. Once it starts browning, it browns pretty quickly. So, and then it could borderline get burnt. So, try to just also make sure I'm just continuously stirring it around um, until I feel like it's ready. Let me start getting plates and other things, and then we'll plate the food together. Let's see. Okay, so not burned just yet. Maybe let me crank the heat just a little bit more. I don't think you guys can hear it through the camera, but the panko is making like a sizzling sound. So, and I guess the capers are also getting browned in the process. I don't know if capers can get crispy, but nonetheless, I just added it in because all of this are just toppings for the dish. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Yeah, I just take a look. Okay. So I'll just let that kind of sit for a little bit because I want it slightly browned. Again, this is just a personal preference. And then once it's done, I'll immediately turn this off. But how are you all doing today? How's your evening? Do any of you guys have summer plans? I know for me, I'm in the midst of trying to plan for mine. Um, my fiance and I will be visiting the place that we went to when he proposed. So I'm excited for that. It has a really nice waterfront area. So he proposed on Valentine's Day. So at that time, obviously there was snow everywhere. So we want to visit again for the summertime, and I think it'll be nice. Nice little staycation. It's local here in the DMV area. So, and otherwise, just like road trips and activities, and just trying to enjoy the summer. I feel like winter whooped all of our asses, let's be honest. So, any excuse to be outside, I'm going to be outside. Okay. Okay, so this is definitely browned. So I'm going to turn this off and then let me see if I can do this successfully. So you can see it's a little crispy. It's not as like bright tan as it was. It's browned a little bit. So that's what it looks like when it's done. And now let me bring you guys over here. Okay, let me unzoom because so I want to shift you guys so you can really see what's going on and what's being plated. Okay, so let's get our pasta. I tend to give myself a little bit less than my fiance for obvious reasons. A, because he eats more, but I tend to try and take a little bit more protein in my dish versus the carbs for obvious reasons. Pockets of protein, right? So, so I try to kind of make the protein the focus. Okay, and then let me dish his. And I think we're gonna have extra, even as much more than he eats than I do, so, which is good because now I have lunch. Okay. Okay, yeah. So we have extra, and now we'll add the panko caper topping. Okay, and then I'll add it on his. Okay. Okay, and then the last bit is to add, for me personally, my fiance doesn't like microgreens, but I do because at my big age, I need to have some greens on my food. So let me lower you guys so you can like really see what's going on here. Okay. All right. And then just add a little bit of microgreens. I love microgreens. I love how easy they are to just add on top of things. I always add it on. I added on eggs. I added on this. I added on so many different things. Okay. And I'll take you guys off the and let me bring his because I mean I dished his too. So I mean this is the dish, but this is obviously way more aesthetic, let's be honest. This is mine. This is his. But yeah, so very quick dish. Again, I'm looking at the timer on live. We're 25 minutes in and dinner is ready. So I definitely will be doing more of these lives. I feel like there's more value. You guys can talk to me, I can talk to you, and just foster closer bonds that I think is difficult. It's hard to do so on YouTube because of I don't know. It's just not like Instagram and TikTok, but I'll definitely be doing more of these. But one more look at what we've created, and I hope you guys have learned something today and how I made this. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Take care.